Well, it's been a while, but some big things have happened over the last few days, and well, I mean, you shouldn't be living under a rock right now, but if you have been, Dueling Network has been cease and desisted, if that's a word. So Dueling Network is going to officially go down. If we go on the original website here, you get this message. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it wasn't Konami. I believe it was the company that licenses the movies for Yu-Gi-Oh. They've copyrighted their cards and stuff like that. So if you go to Dueling Network through the official link, that doesn't work. If you go through this link here, actually, it works, but it doesn't work for some people for some reason. It works for me, as you can see, as of recording this, 7th of July, almost the 8th of July, 1 hour from now. It's working fine for me. There's still people playing, there's still people online. There's 65 people online. I don't know how I'm one of the 65 that somehow can enter. There's so many people I know saying they can't enter. Maybe I'm just lucky, I don't know, but I guess it's safe to assume that this little cached version of DN is going to be gone soon. When that is, who really knows, right? It's hard to tell. But what we do know for sure, pardon me, is that there's more news in the making, and that is, well, YGO Pro is going down as well. Shut up. What the hell is this? Okay, YGO Pro. So if we look this up, I think they've made an announcement on their website. Yeah, so YGO Pro is going away. And I guess what my thoughts on this are generally, like, rather than just this being a boring, things have happened, comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, let's actually talk about the implications about this. So, first and foremost, Konami is not behind this. Whatever company is behind this, I can't remember who or what. Now they're taking down the online platforms of systems that involve playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Obviously, actually, it's not obvious at all. I'm not sure if Konami are planning on making an online simulator of their own. I think they did try that and it didn't go very well. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Personally, I'm fine if that's actually going to be, if it's anything like DN, you know, I'll be more than happy to play it. If it's going to have microtransactions and pay to win stuff, I'm not going to like it. Chances are that's what's going to happen, because how else is a company meant to make money other than, you know, doing microtransactions on a free platform of sorts, right? As you can see here, this works for me. Log in. Yeah. So really, this comes down to just, I guess, Konami's own personal policies of what it means to, like, remove online simulators, or not Konami potentially. I don't really know. But surely Konami is somehow involved in this to an extent. I would be very surprised if they weren't. I mean, it's in the end, it's the card game. I understand the movie and stuff is relevant towards the copyright, but it feels like, you know, Konami would have something to do with this. Now, anyway, regardless if they're involved or not, I think that overall it's quite sad for the player base to lose something as it's a bit of a hallmark of this game, really. You know, it's like a real solid cornerstone that people would just regularly play Dueling Network online. You know, if you're not, some people have locals once a week, some people don't even have a locals, they only travel to events. The only way a lot of people can practice properly is by just grinding on the, you know, very highly competitive ranked ladder matches on DN as best they can, and I think taking that away is really sad and a big mistake from whoever is responsible for this part. Now, like I said, if there's going to be an adequate replacement soon, then, you know, this isn't too big of a deal. But, you know, I'm just gonna have to say I personally really disagree with this. I think it would be great if there was, like, this standardized online Yu-Gi-Oh, you know, simulator play somewhere that anyone can go and play online, run by Konami, so it'd be nice and safe and properly coded and well designed and stuff like that. I think that'd be amazing. Dueling Network was going to have Dueling Network 2.0, whatever that was going to be. I thought that, you know, that could have been cool. We didn't see it. It's not going to happen anymore because of this. So it's one thing that Dueling Network got taken down, but it's interesting because YGO Pro is now taken down. Now, I don't know what's going to happen to Dev Pro. I'm not particularly sure if they're completely different companies, organizations, whatever, people, team. I don't know if it's different teams who work on YGO Pro and Dev Pro. I believe they're somehow related in some way. I don't know what's going to happen to Dev Pro, but it feels like this might just snowball and domino into more and more. So I'm really curious to know what the idea behind this is, because, you know, if you're going to take away our online dueling, which is a very, very big part of YGO, like I said, a lot of us practice a lot online before events. A lot of us get to get grips with decks. A lot of us test out decks online before we go out and actually like buy the decks in real life. You know, I feel like I don't really see who's losing out here other than everyone. You know, people who would potentially be into playing the game in real life won't have some way of, you know, getting their feet wet with the online games and the online simulators, so that might dissuade people from even playing in real life ever again. There's a lot of, you know, ways that this can drag new players in. I don't really see what the benefit is of taking this away, other than the fact that we're not making money from this thing, and that's our game, and that's upsetting us. Like, that's the only logical justification I can see to getting rid of Dev Pro, YGO Pro, Dueling Network. If it does happen to Dev Pro, I don't know, but if they take away online simulators in general, there's really no good reason to take them away other than we're not making money from this. In all fairness, it's a company, it's a business, and I think that is actually a very good reason. That is a justified reason, you know. If someone was taking my products and profiting out of it, I wouldn't be particularly happy about it. So it is kind of like, you know, I do understand and I can sympathize with why Dueling Network has to go, with why YGO Pro has to go, and potentially Dev Pro. But at the same time, you know, we do need a sort of replacement. There's lots of card games online that have, like, you know, online things. I think Magic has its equivalent. I don't know how big it is or how relevant it is. I know Magic has their own online one. I don't know if it's actually directly run by Magic. Hearthstone, of course, you know, is online only, and that is one of the biggest games, like, currently, like, ever, right? So I feel like Konami are going to be losing out a lot from this situation. But like I said, it's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been changing drastically in recent years. Konami have been doing a lot of different things, trying out new things. You know, we can tell from the way they interact with the player base. It's obviously a lot more better and interactive. The way they, you know, lay out their ban lists now, and they have streams now more often and stuff. So they're definitely going forward into the new generation of online social media interaction and stuff like that. Hopefully, you know, this means that we'll get a really, really good online simulator. I don't see why it's not within their power to provide us with a good alternative to Dueling Network. I would like to see a very basic simulator like Dueling Network. On Konami's part, you know, they could have like official judges and stuff like they do at regular tournaments, working on it like the same way Dueling Network does. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't know if they want to go down the automated route with, for example, YGO Pro and Dev Pro. They might do that. It'd be just interesting to see how that bodes in the future. So I think, you know, to conclude really, like, my overall thoughts, I think it does kind of suck, but I feel like, you know, what else do you really suggest? Like, what is the alternative, you know? I can't really think of what else we're supposed to do or feel, you know, in this situation. Like, if Konami aren't making money from this and they're upset about it, you know, that's fair enough. And what could we really do as players other than respect their business position? You know, because I feel like it's very easy to be mad and be like, oh, this company sucks, I hate them. But in the end, you need to understand it as a company and a business. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty pissed off because I use online simulators so much. I stream, you know, it's very important to me. So I would love to be able to just, like, you know, have this be used easily enough. So I don't know, we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. If they can provide a very good alternative online simulator of sort, I don't think anyone can complain, but I don't know if that's how it's going to be. But anyway, thanks guys. I'd really like to know what your thoughts on this. You know, I'm just curious to see, like, you know, do you think this is a good thing that these online simulators are going away? Do you want an alternative, or, you know, is it just all around shit, terrible, and cuck Phonami, you know what I mean? So let me know what you think. I'd be really curious to know. Obviously try keep it mature and stuff, and don't delve into a dev pro versus DN argument, because that always happens somehow. I could make a video about like my left toenail hurting and someone will bring up dev pro versus Dueling Network as an argument in the comment section, because that just always happens somehow. But anyway, yeah, if you've watched this far, give me I don't know, hashtag Dominion in the comment section if you've watched this far, and let me know what your thoughts are. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.